No.
Okay. And the second thing is, then like we have to see what is the project suite and what is the project. Okay. So when you can actually make a right click, or you can just select here, and you will end up getting into a new project suite. Okay. So and this is the location. This is a default location everywhere it is getting stored. Maybe if you want to change the location, you need to change it here, the default location. Then click on OK. So this will create you a project suite. So by default, project suite have three options. One is test items, one is variables, and other one is the properties. Okay. So properties is default property wherever you get the log, wherever you will get the log getting stored for the project suite. This is a project suite level log. Another option is here, when you come to options, you will have this project, whatever the details. So this is the default location. By default, it is coming, and you can give whatever the options that you want to do. Okay.
What about that entries?
What is that entry?
No,
Which one you're saying?
project properties.
Uh-huh. This one?
Oh, no. Just open the previous window. It showed where the project has been stored.
Uh,
Yeah, there we have entries, right? 8 entries. Number
yeah.
of recent.
Yeah. No, this number of entries is you will get stored, or you will get displayed on your start page. How many number of projects you will get displayed? I'll show you here on the start page. Start page, okay. Here on the start page, you're getting this number of projects here, right? So that number they are giving it here, which is under here. Number of project entries that you can see.
Okay.
Recently opened.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
So that is there. So this is the default location of the project, and then under the project suite, you will have the test items. Test items means assuming you are creating a test case. Okay, still the project and all is not created. So after creating a project and you have created a test case, after this we are going to refer those test case here, and then we will do an execution from here. So all the test cases I can refer here, and then I can do it as an this one. Here the variables, so the temporary variables or persistent variables, this is common for complete project suite. So for one project suite, I can add the variables here, and this project suite variable can be used for any project. So like one project suite can have multiple projects, and each project can be of a different scripting language. Assuming my project one is VB script, project two is JavaScript, and assuming I want some common variable for all the projects, I will create under the project suite what are the variables I want to create. Either it's a temporary variable or it's a persistent variable. Depending on that, I will just select it. So what is the difference between temporary and the persistent variables? The number of type, it will change. So temporary variable can be identified using the runtime also, and it can change during runtime. Here, it will be mostly a constant in the persistent variable. It can't be changed. It is like defining a value, and this value will not change. But here, if you see, you will get the DB table, you will get object, the table value, all these things, which in runtime also you can change this. So that is the difference between temporary and persistent variable.
What is the main use of it?
Now this is like assuming you have a URL, and assuming you have a username and a password. So you don't want to give it on the script level, or you don't want to give it on the keyword level. Here you will define it so that you can refer and you can use it.
Okay.
So it is like assuming you want to store your URL. Every time you don't want to write it on the script, assuming I am saying this, changing it as URL. Okay, and here I'll give it as www.weborders.gmail.com. Okay, so on the code, I will not use www.gmail.com. I'll use projects suit.variables.url. When I give, it will automatically give this default value. Okay. This is like defining a variable within the tool instead of maintaining it in the script. So this is with respect to variables, and then your properties. This is the property where you're storing the log. It is like always advisable let it go to the default location, because when you relocate, then every time you need to change all this. So once the default location you have decided for the project, all these locations it will auto generate it. Like that should be fine. We don't need to change this location until unless it's mandatory or necessary. So other thing is after that, after the project suite, we will create a project, right? So I'm going to click on new item. I'll say web application project. Okay, and here the default location with respect to your project suite, we're getting it. And here the scripting language, whatever the scripting language that we have is being shown here, and generate the default content. So, but okay, let me uncheck the default content. So we will see what are the contents that we can do. Click on OK. So it has created the application. It has created the project. So under the project, you have the test items. So whatever the test items you want to create, you can create. So what is meant by a test item is whenever you have created a project and you have a test case, so that test case you can refer from here. I'll show you while after creating the test cases. So then we can run it from here. We can group, assuming I have 100 test cases. Every test case I can refer here and I can run it from here as a single set. And anytime I want to check or uncheck, I will use this option. So for that, this test items is very useful. So to organize the test, number of tests, assuming you have a regression suite, I will create a specific folder for regression suite, and then I'll add what are the test cases under regression suite I want. And then say, for example, I want a smoke suite, I'll create another folder for smoke suite. F2. So this is regression suite. Say this is my smoke testing. So under this, I can add my, say for example, this is my okay. So test case one. Say like I have okay, under smoke I can have multiple test case, maybe like test case 3. Yep. Test case 4. So say for example, I want to run only the regression, I don't want to run the smoke. I'll just uncheck here and this will run. So something like for that kind of a feasibility, they have given this option so that you can select whatever the test cases you want to run manually without selecting every time in this app. Okay. So this is for the test item. And here we have the same set of variables, whatever we have. The difference between project suite variables and the project variables are project suite variable can be used across all the projects, but this project variable can be used only within the project. So you cannot read this project variable in another project. Assuming I have another project saying like a desktop application, whatever the properties, whatever the variables you give here cannot be added in the other properties. So it will be limited to only this project. Okay, so that is the option. Otherwise, it's all the same. Whatever the options, whatever you have in the drop down, all going to be the same. Nothing much to differ. So, and then issue tracking. So, say for example, these things generally we will not use because we'll use an external file to do all that. But if you want to use something, what is the item, what is the project that you are going to use, and then this is like an external file. Assuming you can just connect to Jira or any other external test management tool, and you can connect here. So basically, within Test Complete, we will not use this option. Just like any external file you have, you'll be using it.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have the properties. So this is similar to whatever you come here and use current project properties, you will end up here. So these are the set of properties, general properties with respect to your project. Another one is your default properties. By default, whatever the properties you want that you will select, this default properties will be set every time whenever you open your project. This default properties will set. But if you want to change it, you need to change it to the change it in the current project properties, because every project may have a different set of property. Based on the need, we can change it in the current project properties. So we will see all this option. It is quite early now. It's a full set of property. You see that. So after this, what like we will do is we will add all the project elements, whatever is required with respect to Test Complete. So here under the project, when you right click and when you make it on add, you will get so much of items. So whatever these items are, so Android gesture collection is whenever you are using a web mobile application, you will be using this Android gesture collection. So events are like now, say for example, you're getting a pop-up or you're getting an unexpected event or an expected event. So that kind of events when we have and we want to define a set of actions based on the event, we will use an inbuilt events, and then we will give the function or we'll write a code for that and it will work. So image repository is, say for example, I want to store an image and I want to work on the image. I'll be storing those images there and then I'll be working. And the next thing is keyword test. So keyword test is without scripting, you will be able to automate. That is like a keyword test script that like we will create. It's a keyword. Even on the recording, you would have seen the record using a script and record using a keyword test. Other thing is this low-level procedure. So low-level procedure is something like a video recording. Whatever you record the screen on the action, it will record with respect to the coordinates, and when you rerun, it is going to rerun with respect to the coordinates. So because it's going to work on the coordinates, generally we will not use this low-level procedure collection and all. This is an old feature, because like if you run on a different machine or if you run on a different system or if the browser option or anything is getting changed, it will work only with respect to coordinates. So basically, we will not use this low-level procedure collection. And this is a manual test. Anything that you want basically to have the manual steps, you will add it here. And then the name mapping, as we saw yesterday, name mapping is to store the properties and the values so that you can reuse it. Network suite is something like you want to do a distribution test and you have a master machine, you have a slave machines, and then you need to configure it, and then from the master machine you can split your test case and you can run in multiple machines. Assuming I have 1000 test case, and in one machine if I run it is going to take me 10 hours. So like what we do is we do a distribution testing. I will have 10 different machines, and in every machine I'll split those 1000 test cases into 100, 100, 100, so that within 10 minutes all my 100,000 test cases will run, but it will run 10 different machines. So, but there are some prerequisites for it. You need to require a LAN connection, and you need to have some test execute or test complete, even in that mission, even in that 10 slave missions, and then you need to perform. So ODT is an old method, object driven testing method. Currently, it's all like removed up. Object driven is something like OOPS concept. Whenever you define an object, on the runtime, you will create an object and you will perform instead of whatever the default method that you have. So this is deprecated actually. This is not used, and in future they'll remove it because these are like initial level properties, initial level features of Test Complete which they use. This is like Ready API or SOAP UI. If you have an API testing and you already have a Ready API or SOAP UI, you can integrate from Test Complete and you can run it from here also. So that is the option here. Any questions?
Yeah, that manual testing, why we required adding manual?
No, generally it is not required, but they've given a feature here. Assuming you want to write the manual test here only and you need to maintain, you can just maintain it here. But like generally you will not use, but it's a tool feature. Say for example, you are using it in Excel, right? Excel, you will write a manual test or you will write in a separate tool. Instead, assuming you don't want any tool and you can maintain it inside test complete, you can maintain it and complete. They'll give you a small, small set of options for the manual test. I'll show you. So, say like this is the manual test, and I'm right clicking and adding a new item. Okay, click on OK. Right. So here I'm getting manual test. What is that? Test caption, assuming like I'm saying this is like for validate login page.
Okay.
Okay. So here I'll give my test ID. Say for example, I'm giving a different test ID _01 or like manual. So here I can write my test description, validate web order. Web orders login. So these are like basic. This is like a notepad, whatever they give you. So you can add it here as much as whatever the properties that you want, and then here you can write the instructions. So here you can say like what is your test initiative. This is like steps to reproduce and all this stuff, and you have the test notes, whatever you want the test notes you can write. So here manually we'll maintain what is the expected result, what is the actual result, and all this stuff. Right?
Okay.
But generally we'll not use all this, but they are given a feature. So okay, that's all. Okay. So other than all this, Ready API. So scenario is for recently they've added something for BDD within test complete. So when you want to use BDD scenarios, you can use it inside it. And this is the main thing, whichever the script that we are going to do, write all the coding and scripting and all this stuff. So this unit will help you to write in the different scripting language, either VB or JavaScript, based on whatever we select, we will be able to do. Selenium and unit testers. This is like assuming you have a Selenium project and you want to run inside the test complete, you can use this Selenium project inside test complete and you can run. This is like basically an advantage, assuming you already have a Selenium test and you want a better reporting structure or something, and like you want to reuse it, you can incorporate the Selenium here and you can work it. Stores like whatever the images files, whatever the properties and whatever the tables that you want to store. Generally in other tools, what we do is we'll store it in external file and then we will refer and we will do it. Here internally you can store all the images, files, object properties and all this stuff. So, and then the tested applications is mostly like this is like your exe file. You want to run any exe file, you need to add it here. Assuming you are going to work on a desktop application, by default you need to add the exe here so that you will be able to work for the web application. So user forms is something like your .NET framework, .NET form. So whenever you use the form and you can refer it and you can use something like this is for designing. Say like you want to design a user form or something like that, you will be using the user form. And then this is web service. Web service is by default. This is a limited feature of web service within test complete, but the actual web service feature you will get it under the SOAP UI tool. But here also we can use the basics of this one. So the most frequently used are like your tested application. Whenever you have a desktop, and you will use the script file because you are going to write the code, and then maybe sometimes you may use the keyword stuff. If you don't want to do script, you will use the keyword stuff. The name mapping you will use more frequently, and then keyword test, and then the events you will use most frequently. Four options is one is script, one is keyword test, one is a name mapping, and other one is the event. This four mostly we will use in all the projects. Other than this, maybe images we will use. Other than that, remaining options are additional. If they require, they'll use, or most of the time they may not use in all the projects. So that is how it goes. So, any questions on this?